Could you imagine a world where you're living on, let's say, 50% of your income? And I'm talking like literally 50%. If you took all the money that you had that you would bring in per month, cut it in half, would you be able to live off that and to be able to live comfortably, to not have to worry about paying bills and making ends meet, but literally chopping your income in half and being able to still live a fun life? That seems completely impossible, right? Well, I think it is. I've done it. It's possible. So in this video, I'm going to kind of walk you through step by step what you need to do if you want to try this out. You can try it out for a week, a month, a year, as long as you want. But in this video, we're going to walk you through every step to take to be able to cut your income in half and still live a fun life. Like most Americans, you probably don't have a budget. You're probably not paying attention to where your money goes. It's, you get, $3,000 a month, and then at the end of the month, you pay all your bills and you don't have much left over. But have you really looked at where that money goes? So this step, the first step, is going to be taking a look at your expenses. Now, pretty much everyone pays with credit cards and stuff. So what you can do is reach out to your credit card company, even sign in online, download your expenses for the last 30 days to get a good understanding of what you're actually spending money on. And then there's also apps out there that will track your money and show you exactly where it's going to. They can do it by certain categories. They can do it a ton of different ways. If you don't know of any, I think it's called Every Dollar from Dave Ramsey. If you just go to his website, you can download that for free. It's an app. It's kind of like what Mint used to be before they got rid of Mint. So that's going to be step one, is take a look at your expenses, let's say the last 30 days, to get a real good understanding of where your money is actually going. Moving on to step two, what you'll need to do is cut the fat without cutting the joy out of your life. So what exactly does that look like? What can you cut? If people are spending money on things they don't really need, wouldn't they just stop doing that? Like, wouldn't it just be real simple to figure it out? Well, here's an example of somewhere where you could cut the fat. Let's say you love coffee. Now, for me, I don't drink coffee. I've tasted it before. I've never liked it. People are like, how do you just wake up and not drink coffee to get going? Like water. Water is what works for me. But anyway, for those of you that love coffee, you're probably going to Starbucks every day on your way to work, or you're buying a bunch of K-cups and making the coffee at your house because it's cheaper than Starbucks. So that's good. But you can go even cheaper. You can go with just ground coffee with a regular coffee pot. Go to a place like Sam's or Costco where you can buy bulk coffee and buy that and then make it yourself with just like basic coffee. It may not taste as good. It's still going to have caffeine. It's still going to wake you up. It's still going to get your day going. But you're going to be able to save a decent amount of money by doing that. So that's just kind of one example. Look through your expenses, see what you can really cut out or start reducing, because in order to live on half your income, your expenses are going to need to decrease as well if you don't want to be feeling poor and not being able to do anything. Another example besides coffee, so this one's actually really, really interesting. So you've always heard that eating out is always more expensive than cooking a meal. And most of the time that's right. But DoorDash and Uber Eats sometimes will have a 50% off coupon to where you literally can get food delivered to your door for cheaper than it is to just go to the restaurant and pick it up or to eat at the restaurant. Now, that doesn't happen all the time. I know it can get addictive. You tried DoorDash one time and you're like, this is fantastic. I can have Chick-fil-A delivered to my door while I'm watching a movie on Friday night, and I don't have to leave my house and it's raining outside. Like, it just doesn't get any better than that. So don't get addicted to doing that. It doesn't usually make sense. If there's no coupon, you're looking at like 20 to 30% more, and it's crazy how much people will spend on DoorDash. But Look at coupons, whether it be DoorDash or coupons you get in the mail or anything like that. It's super important. There are tons of ways to save money with coupons and discounts and stuff like that. You just have to look for it, and you'd really actually be surprised. So if you're someone that loves eating out, while you can still eat out by cutting your expenses, try to find coupons that make it more affordable. The next step, this is going to be the one that makes the biggest impact. This is also the one that makes some people uncomfortable. It is your housing and transportation cost. Both housing and transportation, the cost of both of those really, it eats up the majority of people's income. There's a lot of people that are house poor out there. So what does that mean? How can you save money? Rent a room in a house. If you're renting a whole house and it's just you by yourself, you don't need to do that. You are, sure, it's nice. It's giving the luxury of not having an apartment, but downsize. Get something smaller. Rent a room if you have to. Buy a house and rent out a couple rooms inside of it. Therefore, you still have your house, but now the income that you're making from renting it out exceeds what your mortgage payment is. So that's house hacking 101. Like, you're making money to live in your own house, but you're just renting it out. Now you can do short-term, long-term rentals. You have a ton of different choices, but you really need to cut down on your housing costs. Now to talk about transportation costs. So a lot of people have car payments, and a lot of those can be just as high as what the rent is that some people are paying. I want to say the average car payment in America is like $600 or $700 a month for a car. That's not counting insurance, gas, fixing it occasionally, anything like that. So this is what I would recommend. Downsize. Find something smaller, something older, something that is still going to work but not break down all the time. If you have a super fancy car that you just bought that you really like, sell it. You don't need it. So Dave Ramsey said, if you cannot afford to buy something in cash, you can't afford to buy it. And that's true about cars. If you can't afford a $30, $40, $50, $60,000 car to buy it in cash, then don't buy it. You can't afford it. So I would recommend downsizing. Whether you have a $60,000 car, downsize to something that's $40,000, or if you have like a $20,000 car, downsize to something that's maybe $10,000 or $15,000. You can get used Nissan Altima. I know they're not the sportiest things, but they work for like 10 grand. That's not super old. That has under 100,000 miles on it. So there are cars out there that you can buy. They may not look as cool as what you currently have, but it will be able to help you live on 50% of your income, to where you can save that 50% of the income, save it up, and buy yourself a new car. But don't worry, because this video is not just about cut all your expenses. It's about being conscious and being a minimalist when it comes to purchases. You want to go with higher quality items that may be more expensive, but you always want to pick quality over quantity. So I'd rather have one item that works really well that will last me 10 years than something that's really cheap that I have 5 of that are going to break every 2 years. Like you have to embrace minimalist spending, and that is quality over quantity, which sometimes I know it's confusing, because you can be looking at something and you're like, this is $5, this is $15. They're about the same thing, but the one that's $15 is better engineered, a better quality product. That's the one that you need, because if you go with the other one, that's the one that's going to break, and you're going to have to buy it again and again and spend more money than you just spent on the other one that was slightly more expensive up front. And what is the enemy of minimalist spending? That, my friends, is impulse buying. And I have a whole video on how to stop impulse buying. So check out my channel for more awesome videos. So impulse buying, stop impulse buying. That is going to help you to be able to live off 50% of your income. the next step is going to be, so this one will be kind of interesting. So to be able to live off 50% of your income, you need income. So what better way to still be able to afford what you afford now on 100% of your income by cutting it in half? Like, how's that going to work? So boost your income. This can look like so many things. This can be you going through your house right now, right after this video ends, and looking around and saying, do I really need that? Do I really need that? Going in your closet, getting rid of some of the stuff that doesn't fit anymore, selling it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm telling you, people will overpay for stuff on Facebook Marketplace. It's a great way to make money. Obviously, if you're buying stuff, make sure you're not that person that's overpaying. But that's what I would recommend. You can do side hustles, start a dog walking business, do different side hustles. If you're a teacher, start tutoring part-time. If there's something you're passionate about, find a way that you can make money doing that. Or if you're not talented but you have a job, ask your boss for a raise. Write down a list of everything you've kind of done above and beyond what you have done this year or last year. Go to your boss and say, look, I've been really working hard this year. These are a list of accomplishments. I really would like a raise. Is there anything that you can do? Depending on the company you're at, you may be able just to get a raise just by asking. So many people don't understand the concept of, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. The next step is going to be, make your savings automatic. So go ahead and have, let's say, now if you're really going for that 50%, to live off 50%, go ahead and cut that out the second you get your paycheck. Like if your paycheck hits on the 1st, set up a direct deposit from your checking account to your savings account for 50% of your income to hit the day after. That way it gives it time to clear. And that's a great way to be able to save that extra 50%, as if it's literally put into another account where you can't touch it. Or you can do 40%, 30%. But anyway, this step is to just help you automate your savings. And moving on to the final step here, look for stuff that's free and low cost, that's fun. If you love going to the club and getting drinks, try going to a park instead. Try finding places that have discounts on drinks. Try finding museums that are free during certain hours, and dates, and times, and stuff like that. It really can be so helpful for you to really look and see how much this world offers you for free. You'd really be surprised. Go out in nature and just take a walk on the trail at the closest park to your house. Even if you've never done it, I'm telling you, as soon as this video is over, subscribe to my channel and then go for a walk. And I'm telling you, life will just be, it's so good for your health. And it takes up time, which is good. And it just makes you feel, it just helps clear your mind, which then you can use that to help think of extra side hustles and other ways to be able to help generate wealth and build money so you can retire early and you don't have to be a Walmart greeter at 75 years old. So to wrap things up, living on 50% of your income, it's all about balance. Being able to do that. And that's, if you can master living off 50% of your income, you're doing better than 95% of people in the world. That's the crazy thing. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most of the people, even those watching this video, unfortunately, are 1 to 2 paychecks away from being homeless, from getting evicted, from not being able to put food on the table. And that's not where you want to be. Unless you won the lottery and you have an annuity that's coming in and you're getting X amount of money every month and it's guaranteed forever and it's a large amount of money, then you need to take steps, and you need to take steps now to prepare yourself for the future. Your future self will thank you. Mine did. The person that I am now is going to be super thankful for, the steps that I'm taking now is going to make my future self even more thankful, because 5 years ago, it was the same way, where I was like, let me try to take these steps, invest, bump up the percent that I'm putting into my 401k at work. And now fast forward now, my 401k is significantly bigger because of the steps that I took in the past. Now, in the past, that didn't work out well because it was less money in my paycheck. But it worked out well because that money was invested and therefore will help me retire faster, because I do not want to be someone that's 70 years old working as a Walmart greeter because I can't afford to pay for anything. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you found this video helpful. If you try out this trend and you try to live off 50% of your income, let me know how that works. Either way, if you were successful at it, even if it was just for a week, I'd really like to know. I think it's a super great idea. It's a great way to save money and build wealth. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.